We are on the move.
In more ways than one.
Ha. Hi, I'm Robin.
I'm Eric.
We are Wanderboom.
Wanderboom.
Today we're going to talk about being back as nomads. Yay!
Finally back on the road after a very long winter of being hunkered
sedentary
down.
for good reason.
Yeah. Many of you probably saw we stayed all winter at the LTVA, the long-term visitor area north of beautiful Blythe, California. And for, again, it's a handy deal, $180 for the whole year or for the whole winter. Great. And you can socially distance away from everybody.
It was fun.
Yeah,
it was great.
It served its purpose.
It really did.
We had some great people to hang out with for the winter and in our little pod. Mm-hmm. But time came to be back on the road, so we're going to talk a little bit about how we do that.
Right. Hey guys, so first we're going to talk about actually the nomadic part of being on the move and how we choose our next place that we're going to move to. What goes into the choices? Of course, we want to go see beautiful places, like most people.
Yeah, and we try not to ever go more than about 3 hours. One thing we learned early on is that, again, there's something that happens to a lot of people, especially that first 6 months that you start doing this lifestyle, is you're still in that mindset about a 2-week vacation. And so you're like always thinking, oh, what's the next amazing thing I got to race down this road to see? And you're driving and, wasting a lot of gas and a lot of energy. When you're in it for the long term, you just look at what's up the road a little bit and then you plan for where to go next.
In a larger sense, depending on where we're going and in what general direction we're going, we have a general plan. Okay, we knew we were going to leave in March from Blythe, and that we were going to make our way up the eastern side of the Sierras along 395 to get to Reno.
Awesome road.
Really nice. There's so many places to stop. What was going to be our next stop? What's on the way that's higher elevation? Because that's what you do as it gets warmer. You go up to higher elevations each 1,000 feet. What about maybe 10
it's
degrees?
Like 8 or 10 degrees, yeah. So Blythe was starting to push 80 plus. As soon as it starts getting into the 80 range, we look for the 70 zone. Again, it's more about elevation. Bob Wells covered this really well in some early videos that we saw. We look at that zone of what's within 2-3 hours or a couple hours of us. What's in that range that we like, and pick a spot and head for it.
Exactly. The perfect spot for us was Joshua Tree National Park.
Yeah.
And we picked it because lots of hiking opportunity, its beauty, its uniqueness, and it was the perfect zone.
And again, for us too, we don't, rather than trying to find a place in the park, we love the boondock. And so the whole idea is to find places right near a park or a national park, and you camp there, preferably for free.
Right.
And there are a couple of great opportunities for Joshua Tree. At the southern entrance off of Highway 10, there is a huge area that's right before the park entrance that, about a year ago, we spent Christmas there with our friends Badge and Neil and Bob and Elle, and hung out down there.
That's really cool.
But the problem from there is that the Joshua Tree is a huge park, and you go in, if you go from that entrance, you kind of got to drive through a lot.
It's a long way.
Big open desert.
There's some cool stuff at that part too.
Yeah, there's the Cholla Garden is really cool, of the crazy jumping Cholla cactuses. But the north side offers a lot more of the big rock formations, more of the campgrounds, more of the trails, the hiking trails. And
it's easier access.
Yeah, so there is a BLM area near Joshua Tree, the town of Joshua Tree. It's called BLM North Joshua Tree. It's a huge area. It's this giant lake bed, basically. And and the hills around it, and it's a massive area. Well, the wind just suddenly died for a split second here.
It can be dusty. We got there on a very windy day. There was actually dust storms and stuff.
Dust storms, yeah.
Bit of a dust storm.
Hard to gauge how bad it is.
Go out where the sun is, you can see. Go try and look at the sun. We're in the Dust Bowl.
And it's going to be like 30-mile-an-hour winds with 40 to 50-mile-an-hour gusts all day. Yeah,
that was not.
But
it's
an
experience.
It's a great home base for not only entering the park. There's several entrances on that north side, but there's also great stores and restaurants and
then you have 29 Palms, which is another entrance to the park, which is there's
Right.
some cool stuff. We actually went to one of the hikes on that end, and that ranger station in 29 Palms is great.
And
it's
there's
really
water.
good.
There's water there. You can get water access, which is really nice. And but there's also farmers markets that happen on Saturdays,
which we didn't realize.
Both Joshua Tree and 29 Palms that we stumbled across.
We were going to the laundry,
yeah,
and right next door to the laundry was the farmers market.
And and a great laundromat also in Joshua Tree.
So part 2 of our on the move theme here is getting moving physically. we have been a little sedentary over the winter.
Yeah.
The
area there at Blythe is, I'm just going to say real quick, the area at Blythe is again, it's nice, but there's not a lot of hiking trails. You can kind of walk off into the desert and
that's what I did
around,
for my exercise, but it wasn't fun. It's
not
fun.
Much for different types of trails and different things to actually get out and walk around much. So we both kind of got a little bit of the sedentary COVID weight that we put on this last year.
You know, a lot of people got in shape during the pandemic. I give you all credit because wow, that was what we did was pandemic eating.
Yeah.
So what we are trying to do for our physical on the move program is to hike every other day. And we've pretty much kept up with that, except weather.
Too crazy windy a few times here and there or whatever, yeah. But we use All Trails, the All Trails app, which is a great app, by the way. And it has fantastic maps of all the different areas, and it's so fun when you can open it up and you put a location like Joshua Tree on there, and literally hundreds of trails pop up on there that you can take. And so
we didn't have time for that many trails.
Right. And we're also, again, just getting back at it, we are looking at 2 to 4 milers without a lot of elevation gain, to kind of get ourselves back in shape, get warmed up.
We actually had that in Joshua Tree. It was perfect.
So yeah, it's about finding trails that fit your level of fitness and that aren't too crazy, dangerous or anything to go out there and hike on, but
and have fun
and have a good time.
exercise is hiking. We're hoping that we're going to do a little bit more stretching, maybe some yoga, and I want to do more meditation. I do that, but I haven't been doing it as much as I like.
Yeah, and again, we're in the perfect situation for doing that. We just, again, how so many people are, we just procrastinate, or you don't, you say
it's
you're going to do it.
It's regular life. No, you don't get the monkeys off your back just because you live in a van now.
Yeah, you got to make the time to do it and do it.
And one more thing about the weight thing, it's not like it's a problem that's ever completely solved. I know some people don't have issues with this, but I've had an issue with this my whole life. And so it's just, what we've learned now is when we start to feel the punch and we really we let ourselves go a little bit, we stop and we backtrack and we get back into, a more healthy lifestyle. And so that's just kind of what you have to do over and over again. For us, we're ebb and flowers, so we're not super maintainers. A lot of people are much more can keep it right where they want it. We like to let go a little bit and then just get back in control. So that's kind of how we roll, which is kind of good for nomadic life, I guess.
Yeah, we've got lots of locations that coming up where we'll be able to do all kinds of fun hikes.
Yeah, very excited about the hikes to come.
Get ourselves out there and keep in shape, and then we just got to, in those in-between days, remember to stretch and do a little, maybe even do a little yoga.
We still do walks. We do evening sunset walks and stuff like that, cocktail hour walks, because it's fun.
Cocktails.
Drinking is not going to. We will still have our cocktails.
We can keep the carbs. You can keep the carb down.
Oh, we know how to do that.
Too,
we know how to do that. Mm-hmm.
Gin and tonic.
Oh yeah, diet tonic people can't even taste the difference. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope that this gave you some, hints and some, I don't know, ideas for how you might want to travel.
Yeah, thanks for following along with us, and
Yeah.
be sure again to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't.
And some videos coming up. We're gonna we're actually
stuff.
going to have a video about all of our favorite boondocking spots on this trip up to Reno, so along 395. So that will be coming up in the future,
Yeah.
probably
If you have any
early
questions-
summer.
Yeah, if you have any questions about what we're talking about, how we do all this fun stuff, of course, be sure to leave those in the comments, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We may do another Q&A one of these days again.
Right on.
So come along for the ride and join the Wander Boom.
Join the Wander Boom. Come on, you know you wanna.